Hello, Colorado Springs. It wasn't supposed to rain today, but it looks like it kind of wants to. What the heck? This bipolar weather, man, I tell you. Hey everybody, Zoom 360 here on the go, and today is I think the 3rd of July. I hope you guys are having a great, well, as best as you can, great 4th of July, and stay safe out there. Today I wanted to follow up the last video and talk about the things that I don't like about my 2015 Hyundai Veloster Turbo. Because the last video we crossed 100,000 miles with it. I didn't think it was gonna get this far, but it did. Surprisingly, I think it's a great car, very reliable, and it's a manual at that. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna narrow it down to 5, maybe 6. So I have a couple of errands to run. I have to go to the bank, and let's go from here to the storage facility. Let's go. Oh gosh. And just like that, we are back in the storage facility. Just got Suki back from Japanese Connection yesterday. Did some suspension work, and it feels fantastic now. I had a few broken things underneath there, and I could feel it. I felt it last week, and I was like, oop, gotta bring the car in. Now it's all good, and we are going on a small trip today. So that should be fun. Stay tuned for that. What is the first thing I don't like about this car? Well, I'll tell you what I don't like about it, and that's the dash. The dash on this car, the 2015 Veloster Turbo, which I think also it's probably gonna be the same for the non-turbo version, but I don't like the dash. The dash it's just too high. Allow me to show you. All right, so this is the dash. This is the height of the dash, rather. Now, it is a decent dash. I don't mind it. I wish it was lower, because right now, it's about what I see when I'm driving, like right there. And I am 5'9". So, it's too high, because I can't even see any part of my hood. Where that Suki's dash is a lot lower, and it makes me feel more confident when I'm driving in terms of what I see, like, you know, potholes. It's a lot harder for me, especially at night, to move around, like, you know, something like a pothole or something that's on the road. It's very hard for me to see it and then to maneuver around, because a lot of time I see it too late. So yeah, so just to compare, this is the Veloster dash. This is about how my view is when I'm driving, about like that. And this is the dash inside of Suki. So this is the dash inside of the IS300, Suki's dash. So as you can see, it's a lot, to me, it looks a lot lower. Though my view right here is about what I see and about how high as I can see if I should choose to. But even though the view here is about the same, but if I like reach to the front, I can see the very top of my hood right there. I can't even see that in the Veloster. And also right here, it's a lot lower. It gives me a sense of I can see more, therefore I can do more. At night, it's a lot easier for me to spot like potholes, which is a good thing because this car is lowered with a lip kit, so which helps. So that's the first thing I don't like about the Veloster Turbo. On to the second. The other thing I don't like about the Veloster Turbo is this: the blind spots. The side view mirrors have a blind spot, and as a matter of fact, because of that very blind spot, I hit the concrete medium while driving at night, and it wasn't pretty, because it was while I was making a turn and I thought I was cleared of it, and I hit violently. But it's all fixed now. Everything that was broken there is you know, all fixed. It is Now it is as good as new, but still. So this is what I'm talking about. This area right here, and that area right here, I can't tell you how many times like cars will be coming from that direction. I can't see them until the very last minute for some reason. This bothers me. It's a huge blind spot. It's almost like the car is like, you know, it feels like it's higher up front than it is in the back. So yeah, so that's what I don't like about it. That's one thing about this car I don't like. And just to compare, let's go back into Suki. So we are inside of Suki. As you can tell, big difference. First of all, this feels like it's flat. If not, it's probably sloping down slightly. And all you have is the mirror, and this, and then this A-pillar right here, it seems really, for some reason, I mean, it's about the same size. This is about the same size as this car, but for some reason, the way they build the mirrors and then the way the corner is inside of Lucille, inside of Suki, I don't have that problem. It's easy. It's easy for me to spot cars coming from that direction if I'm, you know, somewhere, and then same as this one. So for some reason, this area bothers me inside of Lucille, but it's not a problem inside of Suki. So I don't know. Weird, huh? But that's the second thing I don't like about my Hyundai Veloster Turbo 2015. So the third thing, I just started the car because I have to have it on for me to show you, and I chose to start it all the way because it's hot. I need some AC. So one thing I noticed very early on is the clock system in this car. It doesn't stay consistent. Allow me to explain. I think this car, the clock system, it doesn't count 60 seconds, or it probably counts it too slowly, or maybe it counts 50 seconds, or well, not 50 seconds, or probably like you know, closer to like, you know, 70, probably 75 seconds, because whenever I set the clock, let's say to noon today, if I wait a day and I return at noon to look at the clock on the dash, it's gonna be late by 1 minute. So every day it loses a minute. It falls behind by 1 minute every day. I crap you not. I don't know if it's my car, but in this car, the clock falls back 1 minute every day. So every 2 days, I have to move it back up 2 minutes because I kind of need to know exactly what time it is, and there have been some days when I was late for meetings. I was late for a couple of appointments because when I was driving in the car, I kept thinking that I had the time, and it turns out I didn't, because I was looking at the clock on the dash instead of looking at the clock on my wrist, or the watch on my wrist. So so the clock falls back a minute every day. Who knew? So that's the clock. I mean, right now, and this clock is 12:03. I have 12:06. As you can see, let's see, I have 12:06, and I have 11:58, and that's because I haven't adjusted this clock now ever since Monday or last Sunday. So it's been approximately a work week since I've adjusted it, and it fell behind already by quite a bit. I think now it's behind 6 minutes or something like that. So yeah, so the clock falls behind a minute every day. Who knew? So moving right along, this is gonna be the fourth thing. There are some materials in here that begin to wear out, I think, a little bit too fast. I understand that it's still a car, and every car have their issues, and eventually things will tear. It's just the way it is. Things will decay in life. But I think that they decayed a little bit too fast, because there are some things, for example, with the other car, and I've had the other car for like 18 years now. And I've enjoyed every single mile of that car. It is one of my dream cars. But things have worn out in it, but it took a minute. But this one, it wore out a little bit too fast. For example, the door handles, so in this car, the ones I have were silver, and they are, and from me, like, you know, grabbing them, you know, to close the door and stuff like that, the one on my end has started to fade. Yeah, because it turns out that the handle was spray painted, I guess, silver, and it's very easy for it to be rubbed off from you grabbing it all the time, and you know, you are probably seeing it right now. And the seats, they wore out a little bit too quickly, I think. For example, like the one on my end, of course, it really wore itself out. I didn't have this issue with the other car. It took a minute. I think things didn't start to wear out until maybe the 10th year of ownership. The seats, that is. So that's an issue I don't like with this car. And the first thing actually that started to really phase out was the steering wheel, the stuff that covers it. It's not real leather like the other car, though I've covered that with you know, something else, but it started to really wear out. So I'm not a fan, but I'm not really worried about that, because all these things that I've just highlighted will be changed throughout the next year slowly, and this car will look very different come the end of, hopefully, 2021. So that's the fourth thing I don't like about this car. Yeah, but yeah, overall it's still not that bad over here. Like, this started very early on. The silver started to chip out, and this is the steering wheel. I'm not a fan of that, but yeah, so it is what it is. So on to the fourth. I did say fourth, but I meant fifth. So here's the fifth thing I don't like about this car. Though I don't like it, this thing has been very useful as well. So it's like a love and hate situation. Now, I've seen a lot of turbo, well, not a lot, I've seen a fair amount of them on the road, and it could be me, but I think all the other Velosters I've seen on the road seem to be lower than my car. Like, my car is about as high as a pickup truck. I mean, this thing, I don't like and this is the factory height. I don't know if I mean, as you can see, my wheel, I could probably fit, but definitely 3 in some change space. It is like that all around. Now, of course, that makes the car a lot higher, which helps me clear a lot of entrances, especially where I live right now in Colorado Springs, where a lot of the entrances are damn near 45 degree to get in to the entrance. So yes, it does help, but at the same time, it doesn't make the car look its best, because I'm not a fan of high stance sedans. I like my sedans to be not like stance and drop all the way down, but I kind of like the wheel to kind of meet the fenders. So yeah, as you can see, it's the same. It's the same here too. My pickup truck. So that is the fifth thing about this car that I do not like, but still, make no mistake, I've enjoyed this car. I'm choosing to keep it. It's been a great car just to get around town. It's a great daily driver. This car has been paid off now for quite some time. I just haven't had the time to do the research to see what kind of aftermarket stuff I could do to it. Of course, it will be eventually superhero themed. Yeah, because that's my thing, I guess. But yeah, so all cars, it doesn't matter how great they are, they all have their issues, because we as people who make the cars, since we are imperfect, our cars will also be imperfect. But make no mistake, I've enjoyed every single bit of the miles on this car, and I'll never forget, this is the butt I saw that day when I was driving on the highway. I said, what is this hatchback? I want one. Yeah, so there you have it. This is everything that I don't like about my Hyundai Veloster. So what's next for Zoom 360? There are a couple of things that are coming up that I'm going to be taking you along for the ride. One is actually today, which starts shortly after this here. So there will be some adventures which will be coming up very soon on this channel. So this whole thing with the COVID-19, a lot of places are closed. It's not that I can't find the time to do these trips and then to take you there with me. It's just a lot of places are closed. Like, for example, this weekend I was planning to go to a monument called the Four Corners. This is where the state of Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and I think New Mexico meet, which I thought would be very cool to be able to somehow be able to touch all four states together. That'll be great. But the site as of right now is closed, which to me is dumb, because they could have made it a certain way where that you could let a certain amount of people in there at once. I don't know, but just something where, or just have people wear masks. I don't know, but it's closed. So I'm still gonna look into it this weekend, but there are other things that will be coming up that I think are fun. A few of them I've never done before, so it will be a first for me, and it will be great for me to take you along the ride, for you to see me do these things for the first time and not kill myself. So alright, so this is Zoom 360, inviting you to get up, get out, and do it. Like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out.